Let's take a little walk in here. Show you something here. Right here, check this out. These rib roast here, $6.99 a pound. If you want to cut ribeyes out of them, you can go over here, see what your ribeyes sell for. $13.99 a pound. We'll cut your own with that. All right, so I ended up buying 4 of these standing rib roasts. I got a couple the other day. I thought I would smoke them, make prime rib, and then I said, you know what, I'd like to have some ribeyes. So I went and bought 2 more. I'll cut these into ribeyes. You know what I was saying in the store, if you didn't see or couldn't hear me? Publix, every year around Christmas, they'll mark these down, $6.99 a pound. Yeah, those cut ribeyes I showed you, they were $13.99 a pound. So you're going to come out a whole lot cheaper doing this. Now these are the standing rib roast. It says boned and tied. So the boned, actually, they have the bone still on the bottom of them. They just cut it, and I'll show you that in a minute when I open these up. But anyway, yeah. They tie these because they composed of a few different muscles right there. Keeps it from falling apart. And then you can't see without me taking these things out, which I will, but I'll actually take the bones off of these, and next time I smoke something, I'll just throw those on the smoker with it. I'm gonna take these and cut these into steaks. I noticed I had a lot of people watch the video I made on here where I was cutting the New York strips. All right, so yeah, I took these out, so you can see, you got the little strings on there to hold them together where you cook them. And there, here you get your ribs. Those ribs, that's to protect your meat when you cook it if you do it as a standing roast. So we'll get these strings out of the way here. Publix does this, from what I understand, about a week. So it started Wednesday, so you still got a few days to get in there and get it. And here's what I was saying. They take the ribs and they cut them off for you and then tie them back on. So like when I smoke this, the ones I got 2 in the fridge I'm gonna smoke. I'll leave this on here. I'll leave them tied and everything, just like that. So these are actually, I'm not gonna throw this away. I'll put these in a bag, and when I smoke something else, I'll just throw those on there as a little snack. You got some, basically, steaks right here. So what I'll do is I'll take a lot of this fat right here off. You don't want that on there. A little bit of this fat cap up here, I'll shave that down just a little bit. So we'll kind of zip this off right about here. Don't throw this away either. This will go into a bag. Use this for sausage, which I need to do again. I've been saying that for a little while. I really need to get around to making some more of it. I'll take just a little bit of this fat off right here. I still got a ton of those strips left. And then fat, you can save that and use it for sausage making, render for beef tallow, or there's different things you can do with them. Some little random bits here I'll trim off. So I like my steaks pretty thick. Let me get that, shave that down a little bit more. It's a big old chunk of this hard fat there. Actually, I might just take that whole piece right there off. Like I said, this is not going to go to waste. Got this. I'll take a little bit of fat off of that. As I've said before in another video where I was doing some trimming, I don't worry too much about saving a whole lot of fat. I've got some on hand, but I'm not going to save a lot for tallow, because what I do when I do a brisket, there's so much fat on that I trim off. And I mostly use tallow for brisket, so I'll just use what I cut off of it. There we go. Looks a lot better. So I'll take this, a little rounded there. So one be a little funky. So I get about a check that out. Not quite as marble there. That probably came from the loin side. So still be a good steak. I'll get a couple out of that. Probably 3. Oh yeah. What I'll do is I'll vacuum seal these. I have just one random one here. I'll probably keep it. There's another good one, good sized steak. I'll just keep this one too. It'll be another thick one. Lop that little fat off there. A little bit of silver skin. So off just one of the standing rib roasts, and the ones I bought are about 6 pounds. I got this chunk of rib meat here, which will just be a snack for when I smoke something. And I got 4 good sized steaks, about 1.5 inches thick. This one's a little thin, but ain't gonna hurt nothing. So I'll cut this one right here up, do the same with it, vacuum seal these. I just took the strings off this second one. It looks a little better. This is the rib I got off of it. A little bigger. This one, it's got a little bit of fat here, not too awful bad. I'll take a little bit of that off. But it's got this here. But it's not all the way across like that other one. I got a huge piece of fat off of the other one. Yeah, I'll cut this one up right quick. So you can see here, a lot of this on this one had some silver skin on top. That's some tough stuff. So I'll get that off of there. Try to adjust this thing where you can see. Kind of pull that silver skin up and just kind of get in there a little bit. Stuff like that, that's really, really tough. That's not going to break down if you smoke it or cook it direct. So that's going to be nasty. You want to throw that away. This stuff right here looks like it's a little more on there. See if I can get to it there. It ain't quite like a membrane on like a rack of ribs. So there we go. You can see that connective tissue in there. It's hard to break down. Take all that off. You know, just try not to dig into the meat. Sometimes it'll just lift it and you can pull it off of there. See, here we go, that's what I was saying. This will just pull off there, kind of, sort of. Don't have a glove on my other hand, just want to handle the phone camera with, so So sometimes you can get it about like a membrane, other times not so much. Take a little bit of that off. So I'm not really wanting to remove so much of my fat, but that did take a quantity of it. You want this tough stuff going. We still got some good fat here. I'm actually going to leave that on. A little more silver skin. And most people, if they're not going to eat the fat, they're going to throw that side away anyway. So, ain't gonna matter if you get all of it. So yeah, looks fine there. I don't really like this flap here. Yeah, we'll sacrifice just a little bit of this fat to get that. I don't like little dangly bits. There we go. I don't really know why I worry so much about presentation. I'm gonna be the one eating this stuff. It's not like it's gonna be served in a restaurant. Guess I'll just take this piece right here off there and still get good steaks out of it. Sausage. Take a little bit of that super thick fat off, little hard stuff. You know, we got a little bit of that silver skin left, but like I said, I'm not going to worry much with that. Alright, enough of this, and I got some big old mamma jammers off of that one. 4 really, really big steaks. For comparison, it's a standard chef's knife. Now, some big ones. So we'll vacuum seal these steaks up, get them in the freezer. Put this stuff up for use at a later date.